Then defense cuts about to go into effect could cost thousands of jobs, maybe up to 1 million, some estimates are, and jeopardize our national security. So why is the commander-in-chief missing in action? Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma reporting for duty next.
All right, major defense cuts are looming, and some say those cuts will impact our national security and our economy as well. Under the plan, if Congress fails to act by the end of the year, defense spending will be slashed by $500 billion over the next 10 years. Now, with so much at stake, many are wondering, why isn't the president taking any action, and what would this mean for our actual defense of the nation? Joining us right now, a man wondering the same thing, Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe. Senator, first off, you cut $500 billion off. How does that leave us militarily?
Well, if you stop and think about it, he's gone through 4 budget cycles so far, and each one has been a disarming of America. And if you take the $500 billion off that he's already projecting now, that's without Obama sequestration. Then you add another $500 billion from that. Even according to his own Secretary of Defense, Panetta, he said it would be devastating to the military. I mean, we would end up with the lowest ground force that we've had since 1940, lowest number of ships since 1915, lowest strike vehicles in the air of all times. I mean, people need to understand what he's already done and the effect it's going to have if he's successful in the Obama sequestration.
I want you to hear White House Press Secretary Jay Carney when it was asked of him what's going to happen with the cuts to the military. Listen.
We have a situation where defense cuts that the president believes are much too deep, that Republicans and Democrats believe are much too deep, as well as non-defense cuts. Republicans would allow those to go into place rather than ask millionaires and billionaires to pay a little bit more. That's unacceptable as far as this president's concerned.
So it's because you don't want to ask rich people to pay more? Is that the problem?
Well, they always want tax increases. That's what he's been talking about since he got in there. Keep in mind now, in his own budget, and people don't realize this, Brian, it's the president that designs the budget. If you add up all 4 of them, it's $5.3 trillion that he has proposed in his budget. Now we're looking at a 10-year period where he's trying to squeeze $1.2 trillion. Well, that didn't seem like it'd be a problem at all. This is his sequestration. It's not, as Jay Carney said, it's not Congress. This is Obama's sequestration. And you think about the jobs. I mean, Lockheed Martin is talking about the probability of 120,000 jobs that they would that they're going to lose as a result of this. I am concerned about the jobs. I'm not as concerned about that as to what he's doing to America's ability to defend ourselves. That right. Is the big issue.
Absolutely, especially as we try to tell Iran there's going to be ramifications to your actions in the Persian Gulf, and we tell China, we're going to be watching you. You're not going to dominate the region like we plan on having a greater presence in Asia. But I want to bring you to the WARN Act that says you have to give people 60 days notice before you lay them off. If we don't have a deal, these people need some notice. How does that gel with the election and with these pink slips going out?
Well, and the fact that the president, through his Department of Labor, is trying to intimidate businesses, companies, corporations, not just defense contractors, into not issuing the pink slips. Right here, I have the law in front of me. It says they've got to do it within 60 days, and they know that January 2nd is the key day. So that's November 2nd. Well, the president doesn't really want all those pink slips going out 5 days before the election. But listen to this. This is a part of the law that no one has said anything about. The WARN Act states that any employer who orders a plant closing or mass layoff in violation 3 shall be, listen, liable to each aggrieved employee who suffers an employment loss as a result of such closing layoff. Well, you can't not comply with the law. Put yourself on the board of directors of Lockheed Martin. If they came out with a class action suit of $1,000 per employee, that'd be $120 million. You bet they're going to send out the pink slips. And by the way, they don't have to wait until November 2nd. They can send them out today if they want to.
And by the way, the president's out of balance this year, $1.2 trillion. Senator James Inhofe, stay on top of this. I appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right.